Tory Chat's It is your permission slip to be honest about the chaos, the clarity, and everything in between. This is the space where we talk about the shit no one else will, the moments that break us, build us, and change everything. Courtney.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for being here. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
And I'm just sat here in one of Ryan's massive
Yeah, but comfort
t-shirts.
over. If I was like in my, do you know what I mean? If you was coming to me, I would be the same.
Yeah, love it. And it's so hot in here, isn't it?
And yeah, and the jeans and the boots and the blazer, I feel like it's a lot of layers. So I'm jealous of the shorts.
Yeah, you look fit though. And we've got the wine,
Cheers.
so happy days. So I'm excited for this
It's
episode.
been a long time coming.
It has so long. Like January, we started talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. So I already know this is going to be juicy. It's going to be honest. I feel like we share a lot of the same values as well in life. Like I remember when we first spoke, and you said about.
I think we like voice noted straight away. We were just like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, like you're the one. Where have you been all my life? Literally. I remember specifically when you said about turning pain into power. I was like, my girl. This is my vibe, so I'm excited to have you here. So you've gone from growing up around domestic violence, addiction, navigating anxiety, hitting rock bottom, to now being this completely different person who helps people with emotional mastery, releasing shame. So there's a lot to dig into.
There's a lot.
A lot, but let's go back to the chapter of your life growing up where things were super challenging. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so my mum and dad grew up in like council estate vibes, and my dad lost his mum very young. My mum didn't speak to her dad, so I always like premise saying this story with I know that they've had their own shit, let's say. I hope we're allowed to swear on this podcast because there's going to be a lot of it. Good. They've had their own shit, but it doesn't condone some of the shit that I witnessed. And from a very early age, I think the earliest memory I have is probably about 4 or 5, and I used to like stay frozen in bed of a night and listen to the door go in, the front door, and I would listen to the type of footsteps that walked through the door, because if they were drunk footsteps, and I could tell if they were sober footsteps or drunk footsteps, and if they were drunk footsteps, I was like, something bad's gonna happen, because it would always lead to violence. So I grew up in a household of domestic violence. You know, I was never physically hurt. It was my mum. My brunt of it was always like the emotional control and threats. So my dad was very, very violent once he had a drink. And obviously between the ages, I know this now, I didn't know this 5 years ago, between the ages of 0 and 7, your mind is literally like a sponge. You're making a meaning of the whole world and developing your sense of self, your sense of safety. So if my earliest memory was 5 of that happening, and I think it went on till I was about 11. And then one day, I don't know what happened, it just kind of stopped. He was still a prick when he'd had a drink, but the domestic violence has stopped when I was about 11. But I just remember feeling so scared, like I used to get up in the middle of the night, be woken up by police and have to go to a travel lodge, you know, things like that, just for safety. So I never really had that sense of safety inside my house. And then my mum and dad worked a lot, which is, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that generation, I try and explain to my mum what I do now, and she just cannot grasp.
Yeah, they think it's like, why?
Yeah, they're just like, what? Like, what do you mean this is your job? Like, what do you mean you don't have to go out at 9 o'clock and come back at 5? She just can't grasp it. So they worked quite a lot, and I spent a lot of time with my nana, like after school, in school holidays, and my nana was an alcoholic. But I always say this, the brain is so funny. It will normalize certain things for you to cope. I didn't realize that my nana was an alcoholic until I was 16. But then when my mum was like, my mum didn't know that I didn't know.
I guess being surrounded by alcohol was kind of the norm for you, right?
But when I look back and I think, okay, I used to come home from school at primary school, that's like 3 p.m, isn't it? And she'd be absolutely steaming, screaming at me, shouting at me. I'm like, that's so mad how I normalised that as a kid. But that went on, and like all of this in this time is like creating my sense of self. So like they were the early days, and yeah, I kind of unknowingly and subconsciously shoved it all into a box, and like didn't deal with all of it, but it was spilling out of me in different ways when I ended up like in teenage years. So that was like early life.
Yeah. So I guess you probably didn't have even an outlet to talk about it. I feel like now that we're older, I'd say more so in the last few years, mental health has kind of been like normalised and talking about how you're feeling and what's going on in your life. But even when I was a kid, grew up around a lot of alcohol and drugs as well, but like never told anyone. I don't know whether it was shame or
I was gonna say, why
to do it, or if you just
yeah.
didn't do it, but like wouldn't tell anyone. And like even now I'm a bit like, oh, I don't know if I should really say that.
I think it's a bit of both. So I think that for a long time, like as I remember at like let's say 12, you know, when you start becoming a bit conscious, like more conscious as not an adult but a kid who knows what's going on. I remember saying to myself, and I was only young still, and I remember saying, if this happens again, I'm putting myself in front of my mum. I'm not going to allow this, because I always like, I've read diaries back of me saying stuff like, I need to find a way to make it stop, and I want them to be friends. So I took a lot in my head as a kid. It was like my responsibility to sort it. Yeah. And then I think as I got older, it was one of them things that I'd tell myself, yes, shame. I think you're right with the shame piece, like not wanting people to know, but also the normalization thing piece of all households have this going on, or everyone's got their own shit behind closed doors, and I kind of okayed it. But the brain does that to make you like carry on and be able to cope. But then when I realized that it wasn't okay and that it wasn't normal and that I deserve more, that's when like it was like, oh shit, right, okay.
Makes total sense. I don't know about you as well, but I was always brought up to be tough as well. So like more so my mum's side of the family. It's really odd. My dad's side of the family are like so soppy. They'll like, even when they see Ryan, they'll give him a hug, they give him a kiss. And like my mum's side of the family, they're all very tough, hard. So if you cried, it would be like you get a slap on the back, like, come on, get up.
So both my parents were like that. They were very like emotional. And now, but I was always a very deeply feeling child, teenager woman, whereas my mum and my dad didn't know how to carry their emotion or hold it. So it was very much brush it under the carpet as well. Anything that went on, brush it under the carpet.
Don't talk about it
and
again.
It's that shit that introduces that shame piece, because it's like, okay, well, this can't be talked about. But obviously it created all of this shit show internally.
So when did you first start feeling anxiety? I mean, you probably did as a kid, but learned to cope with it. Like when you were saying about the footsteps and stuff, like totally been in those situations. For me, it was like the sound of the front door closing. You'd know, is it a soft close or was it a hard close? Like like walking in the house, and like sometimes it was dead quiet, and like that's unsettling.
Did you ever used to like sit, I don't know about you, but did you ever used to like creep out of bed, and like I knew where the creak was in the floor, and I used to sit at the top of the landing, even though it was scary to listen. It was like I had to listen to make sure it wasn't kicking off, or if it was kicking off, how bad it was getting. Not that I would have done anything at that point, because I was bloody 5, 6, but it was just that I was in constant, in terms of when I started experiencing anxiety, it was then, because I used to just freeze. Anxiety is your body in danger response. Your body perceives a threat and your body's trying to protect you, right? That is anxiety. And now I know this, but back then I used to just feel like my chest was about to explode.
It's like that holding your breath thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And I literally wrote, what was I writing? I'm doing this like chapter thing in one of my free challenges, and I'm kind of sharing my story more than I ever have done in that. And I said, I used to lay in bed and not want to breathe too hard because I wouldn't be able to hear what's going on.
been there.
Yeah, literally. And that's so sad though, like as a 5, 6, 7-year-old. And it's just like no child should ever be like have to experience that.
No, and I don't think I started to think about it that way until my sister had her 2 babies.
Right.
And I look at them and I'm like,
Yeah.
I would kill people if they made you feel like that. Like,
yeah, literally. And I think like when I have kids, it's gonna be such like a massive experience for me, because I know it's gonna be tough, because I'm gonna be able to, like, thinking, how could they, both of them, not just my dad, but I know, and I've been through this like whole process of going through resentment and anger for my mum for staying, but I think when you have kids, or when you've got kids in your family, it's like this slap in the face of, shit, I deserve so much better, you know?
Totally, 100%. Even small things, like my sister, she's a great mum. She makes such a big deal out of every tiny little thing in their life now. Like, whether it's Ruby's playing football, or Lily's running in sports day, or even like Christmas, she goes nuts. There's like fake Santa footprints all through the house and stuff.
I can't wait, me.
Yeah, it's like amazing, because me and my sister can't even remember like Christmas at kids.
Yeah.
And we're like, there's a reason why we don't remember it. So we're going to keep it that way, but make sure it's magical for them. But yeah, like you said, where it's almost like normalized to me, like I would sit and talk to friends like, oh yeah, like this happened. And they're like,
yeah, and I think that's when you realise, you're like, oh, okay.
yeah. And then, like I said, then when the girls were in our lives, I was like, shit, yeah, like actually, you've got a point. That's not normal.
Yeah.
And I think as well with the work that you do, and then also I've done loads of mindset work with coaches. I think like when you're in the business world, you do it a lot more. Don't you think as well, like you're just so aware of things? Like to me,
yes.
I don't want kids, but if I did end up having kids, I feel like I would be paranoid about every word that came out of my mouth, because what you were saying about the 0 to 7 years old, you know, sometimes I say something in front of my niece and I'm like, no, I didn't mean that. That's not true.
The way I think of that, because I've had that thought at one point now, but the way I've kind of come to terms with everything in terms of having kids is, as long as like you're bettering yourself and you're trying, it doesn't matter if you was like so up here on the regulated safe scale, right? That you can't help how they're going to perceive the world. There is going to be certain things that traumatize them that's without your control. You just got to do your best. That's the way I've looked at it. But,
Totally.
Yeah.
Love that. So how did this all play out in your life as a teenager?
Okay, so the anxiety, yeah, you was asking me about anxiety. So I was experiencing anxiety from a young age, but didn't have the words
to describe what it was.
And then come teenage years, it was the best way to describe it is self-destruction. So my mum and dad actually ended up splitting up. Well, my dad actually cheated on my mum, and it was very much a big, massive shit show when I was 15. So I knew the ins and outs of a cat's arsehole. I always say I wish they would have broke up earlier and I didn't know, like, the ins and outs. And then all I wanted was to, like, feel love and experience love, because I didn't feel like I got that from my dad, not in the way I needed. Okay, when we're younger, all children need is to feel seen, safe, heard and understood, like emotionally, physically, whatever. And I didn't get that. They was throwing bloody toys, and I got everything I wanted materialistically. Like, it was always like, oh, she's spoiled kind of thing. But like what I actually needed, I didn't get. So then I would seek it elsewhere in teenage years. So I was very, very promiscuous. I slept around. I hate calling it anger issues. It wasn't anger issues. I didn't feel safe to feel anger. And that would come out in violence myself, like to people that I would snap and hit people who I loved, like friends. My mouth used to get me in trouble so much in school. And it was always where I would be like sticking up for someone else, but I would take it too far. So I'd get triggered by someone else being hurt. Obviously, mum, dad. And oh my God, the amount of times I've had people like waiting at the school gates for me to batter me, and oh yeah. So that was playing out in teenage years. And then when my dad left, I got in a relationship, and I was in that relationship for 7 years, from 15 to 22. And that was just utter chaos.
I can imagine, because
it was trauma bond for both of us.
Yeah, like the things you go through in those ages. And the different versions of you as well.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
wild. I feel like in some ways we've kind of lived like a really similar life. Like I always
really?
say, I bullied the bullies.
Yeah, literally.
If I saw someone getting picked on, you could call me any name under the sun, and I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Minute someone else is getting picked on, I'm like, nah, it's not happening.
I remember this girl in school, and she was absolutely solid, right? No one, even the boys, were like scared of her. And she was picking on this guy, so I just like lobbed a coke can at her head, and she just went like that and punched me. But she must have caught me here, and I had two massive. I've never like really been in a fight. Do you know what I mean? Two big massive black eyes, and I was just like, oh, okay, again, me like getting myself into trouble. But yeah, teenage years was all the suppressed unsafety absolutely spilling out of me, and the relationship was just. I cheated on him. I was like serial cheater, but so was he. And then at 22, just after the Manchester bombing, I really wasn't in a good place, and I just ran away. Well, I don't mean run away, but I was like, fuck this, I'm going to move on the other side of the world.
So did your parents not pick up on any of this when you were a teenager?
In terms of like my behaviour, they probably just brushed it under the carpet. Like, obviously, I got grounded a few times. My dad found out that I was sleeping around. This was just before, probably about a year before they split up. And he grounded me for 6 months for having sex.
6 months?
Yeah, half a year. Yeah, he was very, very... That's why I said he never physically hurt me, but he was very, very controlling. I dyed my hair once, and he made me go upstairs, and I must have been in the sink washing my hair for like 5 hours. And I was like, it's not going to come out. But he was like, it'll fucking come out. And he stood there and watched me, like, I had to wash my hair over and over again. So it was very much like emotional abuse from my dad. But yeah, 6 months for having sex. And that's why I held so much shame around sex. And it was always this conflict in my mind of, I want to be loved. And the only way I'm going to get that affection or love is to have sex. But then I feel so much shame around it, because I've been told it's bad. I get grounded for doing it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I had all these stories going on, and that's why I just thought, fuck this, I'm going to Australia.
I mean, I can't say I blame you, to be honest.
But trauma gets on the fucking plane with you. I didn't go to Australia and step off the plane and was like, oh. It was just the same thing in a different country, sleeping around. Not so much the anger and lashing out, because obviously it was new people. I think I lashed out at the people who I felt comfortable to lash out with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like when you get home, you have a long day, and like your partner's there, and you snap a little bit, because like you feel comfortable to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, the trauma got on the plane with me.
So what was the moment then where you kind of woke up and thought, I need to
Fuck this.
heal this shit once and for all?
So I got to Australia when I was 22 or 23. I just turned 23. And then spent like 3 years just being chaotic, to be honest. Chaotic. And then I met Aaron, who I'm with now. And I don't even know how we ended up together, really, because I was still like very anxious, maybe obviously not sleeping around, but I was still very anxious. To be fair, I slept around until the moment I met Aaron. And then when I was 22, probably about 25, 26, my anxiety had like reached its peak, and I actually developed an anxiety disorder. So anxiety disorder is when it really starts to control your life.
Right.
So I wasn't going out. I was cancelling plans with friends because I couldn't move out the house. I couldn't get through a day without having an anxiety attack. I'd look in the mirror and just start shaking, crying. I hated myself because of the shame, because of do you know what I mean? Like the way I perceived myself was just, I'm a disgusting person. So anytime I looked in the mirror, I would have a massive anxiety attack. In work, I'd just be at my desk and just have to get up and go to the toilet. And then there was one time when Aaron was in bed and I was getting ready to go to the gym or go to work or something, and I started having a panic attack, an anxiety attack. And went to the bathroom and I locked myself in the bathroom because he didn't know he knew something wasn't right, but he didn't know the extent of it because I was hiding it again, brushing it under the carpet. And I remember looking in the mirror and I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I was like, what's the fucking point? I never acted on it, but like even those thoughts were like quite scary. So that was rock bottom. And then I think it was the day after or something triggered me on Instagram. It was really fucking random. Do you know who Charlotte Crosby is?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be that name.
It is so random. So I used to look in the mirror and get anxiety because I hated the way I looked, but it was fuck all to do with my appearance. It was all the internal shame, right? And I was at the gym one time, and it must have been like 2 days after the bathroom thing, and I was just scrolling in between sets, and Channel 5 had made a documentary about Charlotte Crosby saying, what's wrong with your face or something, or what have you done to your face? And she posted about how badly it's affected her mental health and everything. And I seen that and I just, honestly, from my toes to my head, rather than like going into an anxiety attack or feeling anxious, I got fucking angry. I was so angry.
At her or Channel 5?
At Channel 5, just at the world, because like at the fact that people are placing so much value on their appearance and judging people by their appearance, and people's mental health are affected by it, and it just triggered something in me. And then I went home in tit flood. It was so dramatic. I was like, like going home from the gym crying. Got Aaron's there, he's like, what's happened? And I just spilled my heart out to him, told him everything that was going on. And then I was like, I'm gonna fucking do something. I want to do something about this, about myself. I want to help others. And I wrote a blog piece because I enjoy writing. And I wrote like a blog and I posted it, and the response I got from it was huge. Like everyone was just like, I can't believe that you've been so open. I'm experiencing this, blah, blah, blah. And then from there, I just went on this, like, it was during COVID a little bit, or maybe just before. And I just went on this huge, like, year-long journey of, like, intense healing and just connecting the dots. And that's the first time I kind of stopped running. I'd ran in the relationship with that guy, ran to sex and alcohol, and I was taking a lot of drugs as well, especially in Australia. And it was the first time in my life where I stopped and I was just like, right, I'm turning to face all the shit. And I started to connect to the dots. I started to understand about the mind, about emotions. And then, yeah, that year was just fucking nuts in all the best ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I find amazing, though, is that it all started from a blog.
Yeah, that's it. Literally, I just decided in that moment, I was like, I need to do, I don't know what it is, and it might not mean anything, but I just need to get this out.
But isn't it amazing, though? That's like, almost like your intuition, isn't it?
It was.
We all have it, but so many of us ignore it.
And that's why I say, though, with anger, so I used to struggle with anger, right? And lash out and all of the things. Whereas now, anger, I love all emotions. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to emotions. I just love, it's a sign that you're living. It's a sign that you're alive. It's a huge part of the human experience. And anger is my absolutely favourite emotion, because when you feel it properly, safely, you can create such incredible change from it. Anger is the emotion that activates you to create change. And that's what happened in that moment.
Incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
So I think it's perfect timing now. Emotional mastery.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Okay. So, simplest way to put it is, emotional mastery is the ability to be able to feel your emotions safely, move through them and transmute them when needed. So, feel them safely and shift them when needed so you're not consumed by them. Express them without shame, express them clearly, express them without making them mean anything, and being able to hold as well. So the more, put it this way, the more successful you get, the more you grow in business, the deeper you fall in love, the more emotion there is to hold. Yeah. So you learn to hold bigger and you can hold more.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's basically to a T, that's what emotional mastery is.
Yeah, amazing. So What were like maybe the first tools or practices or something that you tried when you discovered mastering your emotions?
You know what it was? I think that moment with the anger was a huge wake-up call, because it was like, okay, I can feel something, not lash out or not like feel not in control, and do something with it. So that was like a huge time. But then when I started getting into like the study of it and learning about it, I guess in terms of tools, and this is like my go-to that I tell all people when they ask for it new, is the triple AL framework. And it's to become aware, to acknowledge the emotion without making it mean anything. So actually name it. I'm feeling angry, and that's okay. Rather than I'm feeling angry and that makes me a dick and that means I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? And then accept, which is, why is it okay to feel this emotion? So why am I grateful for this emotion? Like, so it's just that acceptance of where you're at. And then let go, and this is the key piece. And let go is your ability to regulate. So in terms of tools like that, it was meditation was huge for me. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't sit here and say you have to meditate to be in a position to regulate your emotions and master your emotions. Meditation, isn't the answer. But for me, when I first started, meditation was huge. And breath work, and just slowing down and being present, because I could notice what I was feeling. And then I'd say they was the first couple of tools.
Mm-hmm. I suck at being present. Honestly, I'm the worst.
Really?
Yeah, it's so bad. I was on a retreat in Manchester, and we were doing all the breath work, all the meditating, all sorts, and people were sharing like these breakthroughs that they had when they were doing it. Do you know where my mind went? Like, isn't it wild that it takes 2 ingredients to make a baby, but more to make a lasagna? Like, it's like I get bored and I'm like, what can I think about? And I'm like, oh, that's a bit like Ryan hates it. We get into bed, laying there 5 minutes.
So
I'm like, do you think it's mad? One day somebody just woke up and just made a plane. Like, and now it's just a thing that we all do.
I love that.
I'm really, really bad.
Yeah.
If I'm not thinking about business, if I'm not thinking about my to-do list, I'm thinking about random shit. But I would say I'm quite good at, it wasn't until you started to explain it, I think I am actually quite good at regulating my emotions. It was just at the weekend, someone done something that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Didn't react, and like sat with it and was a bit like, at first it was, you're overreacting, calm down, like they're going to think you're being a diva or whatever. And then I was like, actually, no, hang on a minute. I have every right to feel this way.
Yeah, it's valid. Yeah.
Yeah, like it is totally valid. And I just need to say, by the way, this is how I feel.
That's it. And
This
it's
is
a communication piece.
This is why it's important. And it was fine. That was
exactly
all that needed to be done.
And it's this is what I mean. It's so simple. And as humans, we fucking love to overcomplicate things. We really do.
Yes.
We really do. And I'm not saying it's always easy. Like the healing
It's definitely
work
not. I was never that person before.
Yeah.
Old Tory would have flown off the fucking handle. But I think where I've done all this work, and obviously didn't maybe realise that like mastering emotions was actually like a piece of that I had done.
Yeah.
Because like old me, if you pissed me off, you knew about it. And I'm so laid back now. Like you'd have to do something really fucked up to
Just
really upset me.
One of like the key things as well in those like first, let's say the first 6 months, first year, in terms of tools, it wasn't really a tool, but it was like a lot of realizations. So like I'd attached to this identity most of my life that I was an anxious person. And when you attach to an identity, that's your truth, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. So that's the first piece I always teach clients. Like when we're on this journey, we always do the identity stuff work first, because even if you go in to learn the tools, or you go in to do the healing work where you heal parts of you from your past and all that, if you at your core still believe that you're an angry person, you're an anxious person, it doesn't create any room for change. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it was just not going through everything I went through as a child and then connecting the dots and being like, okay, I understand where this like belief system came from. Do you know what I mean? And whenever like you said, you used to just react to things. You was never reacting to the thing in the present. like the thing that's going on. You're always reacting from a part of your pain in the past. And that's why I say pain to power, because people go all their lives just reacting from the past and from their pain. But when you turn to face the pain, it stops having a hold of you, like, in the present.
It's like you're just always taking a lesson from something, aren't you, really? Like, that shitty thing happened, but I've learnt this. It now helps me.
That's building resilience, isn't it?
100%.
Emotional resilience.
Yeah.
And I think that's another huge thing about emotional mastery. It's knowing that when life, like, literally throws you shit, which it will at whatever level you're at in business, whether you've got the husband or the house or the cat, like, you're always going to go through shit. It's about knowing that when you're going through something like that, when you come out the other side, you're going to be able to hold more and learn something. So the next time the shit comes around, you're more resilient to it.
100%. It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I love it. And you know what? I look back at the childhood stuff and the rock bottom being in the bathroom. That bathroom piece that I told you about, that's probably one of the best days of my life now when I think back, because that really was like a turning point. Even though the gym stuff, like the point, like the anger happened a couple of days later, when I was in that bathroom, I was just like, life cannot go on like this. Surely this isn't it. So that's like one of the best days of my life now.
Isn't it funny? Hindsight is the weirdest thing, isn't it? Like, you look back like, whoa, how, what, where, why, who? It's insane. So how do you support your nervous system now? Like, especially running a business. I mean, like you said, life's going to throw spanners in the works all the time. It's life. But, like, business is a very rocky, emotional roller coaster as well. Like, I always say to anyone who's thinking about starting a business or just started a business, get ready to go on the biggest personal development journey you have ever been on, because it's wild. So is there anything you do, you know, if you're having a wobbly month, or, you know, because business can be like that. 1 minute it's like, oh, it's easy, it's amazing. And the next minute you're back to, fuck, like, I need to do something, or you need to pivot. Like, what do you do now to, like, kind of regulate your emotions, your nervous system?
I just want to start this off by saying, if you are not prioritizing this work and you're an entrepreneur, you can have all the strategy in the world, right? Literally. But if you're not prioritizing nervous system regulation, you won't be able to execute the strategy, because you're always going to be operating from survival. And being able to operate business and be an entrepreneur from a really grounded, safe space is absolutely huge. Decision making. As an entrepreneur, how often do we connect with people? Yeah. Connection, when your body feels safe and when you're regulated, that's the deep, like, that's your, how can I put it? Your body is in, like, prime state to connect and communicate. When your nervous system is, so nervous system regulation is different to emotional mastery, because nervous system regulation is basically your making sure that your body is not in stress response constantly, and in fight or flight, and in all of that, right? So in terms of what I do, I'm not just proactive. Is it proactive? Oh no, I'm not just, like, in the moment doing things to regulate. If something, I'm trying to think of an example. Say if I've just signed a high ticket, or she says yes, she pays the deposit. So I'm like, yes, fucking hell, MRI's gone up, woo woo. And then 2 weeks later, she's like, oh, I'm gonna have to pull out, right? There was a time where, especially when I first started business, it'd be like, oh, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? You'd feel it in your body, you might feel it in your chest, you might tense up a little bit, and then the result of that is you might pull away from content for a bit, or you might spiral. Do you know what I mean? Your mind might tell you that, what's the fucking point?
You're not good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't like you.
Yeah. So in those moments, when it's something in that present moment, I always get clear on, like, what I'm making it mean about me, about my business, about my capabilities. And then it's teaching your nervous system to feel safe in those moments. So I always go somewhere quiet, I take a breath, I put my arms around, like, touch, somatics is really important. Put my arms around myself, and I literally say to myself, I understand why you're feeling a little bit fearful right now. remember who you are, we're safe, it's working out. And even that calms my nervous system down. Another couple of things that I personally do, everyone's got a different glimmer list, and that's what I call it, right? So your glimmer list is like the opposite of a trigger. Dogs is number one.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? If something goes down and I find a dog to cuddle and just literally like really be present with that dog, have a cuddle, take a few deep breaths, I can feel my body relax. Nature is another huge one for me, especially like the ocean or listening to the birds. Taking your fucking shoes off and walking on grass barefoot. Like, this sounds woo-woo, but it's not. Like, you're literally telling your body, I'm safe. Again, another huge one is not so much meditation, but breath work. In the moment, if something goes down and you feel yourself activated, and you know when you're activated, you're either in fight, flight, or freeze. So you're either angry, frustrated, anxious, panicked, or you're just in shutdown mode, right? And in those moments, your number one tool is your breath. Because you've got to think, your brain, the reason why you're activated is because your brain is perceiving danger, right? It's not true danger, it's perceived danger based off your past experiences. And it sends a message to the body going, toot, something is dangerous, activate anger, activate anxiety. As soon as you use your breath and you take intentional, deep breaths, especially with the exhale longer, it's you sending a message back up to your brain to say, it's fine.
It's okay.
We're good. We're safe. So that is a huge one for me. In terms of like things I do before the moment every day, it's movement. Dancing is fucking huge for
I
me.
love watching you dance on your Instagram stories.
Honestly, like that is such a huge part of my life. Like, even in day-to-day off stories, I'm just always dancing because it just makes me feel good. It's movement. Obviously, the mirror work adds to it as well because it's that connection. I always get out in nature every morning and meditation every morning as well. But it's figuring out what makes you feel calm and what makes you feel at home and safe in your body, making a list of those things and then prioritizing them. Like ice baths and stuff, like there's this thing like they're really good for nervous system regulation, and they are, but it's because of the breath work that you do. So if you love ice baths and things like that, highly recommend things like that as well. But honestly, it's about finding your thing, your glimmer list, and what works for you. But that's me. That's what I do.
Do you know, the first time I did breath work was only December last year. Because I wouldn't even say breath work's woo-woo, but I liked some woo-woo.
Yeah, I'm very woo-woo.
But
not like off the chain, but
yeah,
I'm like here.
But I also like science.
Yes.
You have to back it up with science for me. Otherwise, I'm like, I do not believe you. So I did breath work, and I was, again, because I don't like meditating and stuff like that, I was on this retreat, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to have to give it a go. Everyone else is doing it. And I'd done it, and Linda said to us before, Linda's amazing, she was like, you might feel cold, you might feel hot, you might shake. And she's like, and you might do nothing. And I was like, all right then. And it went on for about an hour and a half. It was a long session. It was like a rebirth or something.
Yeah.
And because I can't concentrate, I don't know how far we were
Are you getting ADHD?
Probably. I feel like everyone's got a bit of it. But yeah, I'm awful. So I don't even know how far we're into it. But I've got my eyes shut. And I'm like, I just got to peek. Because my friend Sally was next to me. So I was like, well, I looked at her. She was convulsing. And I was like... So, am I doing something wrong? And like, before Linda looked at me, I was like, shut my eyes again. And I was like, felt nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Do you think that's because, like...
Mine came later.
Yeah.
Days later. I got home from Manchester.
Right, okay.
And I was like, I don't know what
that
happened
emotional
to me.
hangover kind of thing.
I don't know what happened to me, but I was like, I'm going to close my business. Ryan looked at me and he went, what? I was like... I don't like it anymore. And he was like, you're a weirdo. He was like, you've been building this for like 5 years. He's like, where the fuck is this coming from? I was like, don't know, I just don't want to do it anymore. And honestly, it was like I just...
Identity shift, like...
it was so weird. I was like, I hate it, I'm not doing it anymore. It was wild.
I feel like you go through that so much in business though, like...
I've never had that before. Never in the 5 years. And I was
even like when you go through like a huge, like I'm going through a huge shift personally right now, just with being back in the UK and stuff. And I look at my business and I'm like, I want to change everything.
Never had that.
Have you not?
Never had that. Always been, if you ask anyone, so obsessed, so focused, workaholic, can't touch me. And yeah, I was just, honestly, it was literally like, the only way I could describe it is I just woke up one morning, looked at Ryan and was like, fuck this.
Oh.
And like, even he was
What come out the other end of that though? But it was something juicy and amazing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ended up like closing down all of my offers, teamed up with Lauren, and now we're working.
Oh,
with,
was that?
Yeah,
that's
like
sick,
she's
though,
now my
that
business
come out of
partner.
it.
Yeah, we're now working with like these multi-millionaires, like
Love
big
that.
big time players, which is where I wanted to be. Launched the podcast, started working more on the personal brand. Do you know what I think? Identity shift's definitely the right word.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is before I was starting to have feelings of like I didn't know who I was anymore.
That's how I feel right now.
I
Because
was
I'm in the UK and I'm like,
yeah,
in between mode.
For me, it was like I was so obsessed with my business and my work that I almost felt like I become my business.
Yeah.
And it was like, who am I when I'm not working? I had no hobbies. I would pick staying at home on my laptop over a night out sometimes. Like I was so obsessed, like to the point that I completely lost myself. And you know what it's like when you work from home anyway, like you work looking like this, and like I just stopped taking care of myself. I
think
almost like rotting.
Yeah, I think all women, well, not just women. Oh, I think I don't know. I don't really work with men, so I wouldn't know. But I think you always go through that stage, especially like at some point. Mine was 2023, so just before we went traveling in 24 and left Australia. In 23, I was like a fucking hermit. I was just glued to my laptop. And then you wake up one day and you're like, who am I? Like, what do I like?
Yeah.
Like, Aaron had walked through the door and be like, yeah, you're right. And then we had a serious chat once. We was like, we need to start connecting more, because this was in 2023.
Had that as well.
Yeah, because you're so locked in. And Aaron does like trading and stuff.
You don't even realise you're doing it sometimes though, do you?
Until it's like to the point where you're like, fuck, we've not spoken 5 days because we've been looking at my laptop. But I think everyone needs to experience that to come out the other side of it. Do you know what I mean? But that's exciting though that you went to that and then...
Yeah, honestly, it was wild. Like I was like, oh, what a load of bullshit. And then like a few days later I was like...
I'm going to change my whole life.
Yeah, but like it was worrying. I was like, I was like, I don't know what's happened to me.
But I think they're the best moments, and that is another part of emotional mastery. Like, you know, when you feel like the whole world's kind of falling, or your world's like kind of falling apart and coming apart, it's almost like everything's dying or everything's like about to be let go, so everything can just go shh, and that's exactly what's happened.
It was so weird. It was definitely a bit of burnout as well. Like I feel I feel like my body also caught up to me and was like, yeah, by the way, you're burnt out and we're gonna shut you down. Because as well, Ryan would come home from work and I'm just sitting there staring at a wall. Literally, like I was so zoned out, but then also had this feeling of like I want to change all this stuff, but like
that sounds like you was operating from survival and fight or flight.
Yeah,
that's what leads to burnout.
Yeah, it was awful. And I think,
how do you feel now?
So much better.
Good.
I'm still like taking it a lot easier than I used to, like listening to my body more. I would just ignore it. Like if I was tired, it doesn't matter, you go, shit needs to get done. Yeah, like I've always been that person. I feel like probably learnt that off my mum. My mum was the sort of mum that was like, if you were unwell, you still went to school. And if you were that bad, like then
did you get praised for home? Like 100% attendance and get the awards and all that?
I don't think so.
My mum was like, you're getting that award, you're going in.
Yeah, she was like, if you're that bad, the teachers will send you home. I went into school with swine flu. And then a receptionist took my temperature and it was like off the charts, like dangerous. She was like, you need to leave. Yeah. And I was like, oh. I remember the first time I had a seizure, I don't have them anymore. I remember saying to my mum, I was like, oh, I feel a bit weird. You're going to fucking school. And I just like flopped on the floor and had a seizure. And she was like, oh. No. So I think that's like come from there. Like even in corporate, like I've got endometriosis, and like before I got diagnosed and I didn't know what was wrong, I could be in A&E until like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd still be in the office at 9 o'clock in the morning.
It's that it's like that hustle culture, isn't it? And I think you leave your 9 to 5 because you want to run your own business and be your own boss, but then you leave your 9, especially when you're new to entrepreneurship, you leave your 9 to 5 for a fucking 8 till 10. And then you're like, what am I doing? I didn't start this business to be fucking...
It's like that at the beginning though, isn't it?
You got to. Like, it's you got to go through it to realise that that's not it.
Yeah, like you gotta put in to get out, haven't you? And it's like so much learning, isn't it? Like, I mean, if I knew then what I know now, it probably would have been a lot easier, but it's part of the journey, isn't it? It's part of the fun. Like I say to people all of the time, if everything was easy, you'd be really shit at what you do, because you wouldn't know how to deal with it. It's like you were saying, you know how you build resilience, you know how to deal with things. So now when shit hits the fan in the business, I'm like, we've been here before, this ain't my first rodeo.
You can breathe, you can go in, like...
It's going to be all right, we'll handle this, we always do. Whereas someone who's like, I mean, I can name a few people who blew up really quick, was a breeze, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't...
when it hit, they couldn't handle it. So...
And with like you're saying that you was like, go, and you would push through. I think so many, especially women, because I feel like in general from society, it's like we've always had this thing it's like boss bitch, we've got something to prove. So like in terms of nervous system, your nervous system doesn't actually feel safe slowing down, because you've learned in order to like get praise from my mom, in order to get praise from school, I have to go in even when I'm ill. I have to show up even when I'm ill. Do you know what I mean? It's like when we start our businesses, and I experienced this as well. And I've only just really in the last, I'd say year, learned to really slow down. And like I'll block a part of my day to like just go for a walk for a couple of hours.
Love that.
But at first it's like that uncomfortability of I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But it's teaching your body that it's fine. I didn't start this business to be fucking stuck at my laptop.
Yeah, no, I was awful. Like to the point I don't think people realise. Yeah, like I remember when my dog Rex, I was the love of my life, when he was really poorly, even then, I'm like crying my eyes out, but like writing a story on Instagram, sending an email, like he's here, and I'm like, I'm just send that email. Hospital, my granddad was dying, kept looking at the phone. And again, like the next day, I'm like grieving a family loss, and I'm like on the phone to my clients, like, all right, like just like nothing ever, like nobody would ever know, but it's because it's what I've been around, like brush it under the carpet. It's crazy, and it's something I'm still having to learn. Like I'm still bad. I still have. Ryan looks at me. He's like, thought we were done with this, and I'm like, okay, right. Like,
you're reprogramming though. Right? So it's not gonna just be like
takes time.
Yeah, but I think you're probably the same as me. You can look back to like a year ago and go, oh my god, things are so different in the best way. Like I'm not go. Maybe I'm a little bit go, but I'm not go.
Not as bad. Yeah. But I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, it's just part of your DNA though, isn't it? To always be creating, doing something.
Yeah. And I think even like when you're slowing, I love it when I intentionally slow down though, and I'm like, I don't need to be doing all of the time. I can just be being. And when I'm in that state, because I'm regulated, that's like the best place to be, to receive ideas, to be creative. So when I'm in that regulated, my body feels safe, I'll just be sat there not doing anything. I'll just be going, oh, that's a fucking sick idea. I'll just jot it down, put it to the side, and then we'll act on it later.
Oh, I'm awful if I get an idea. I'm like, we're going now, baby. It's so bad.
I may be a little bit...
I've gotten out of bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
I wish I was a little bit more like that. I'm like probably too... Like I'll write an idea down and I'll do that. And then 2 weeks have gone by and oh shit, that idea. So I need to like meet you like a little bit in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, we both do. Yeah, I'm awful. I've gotten out of bed before because I'm like...
I've done it in the shower where I've been like, nah, I've got to get out of the shower and write it down. Otherwise I'll forget it. Yeah. Never do. I love sleep too much to be
so do I.
Doing it in bed.
Ask me, I'm a lazy cow. But yeah, I've gotten myself out of bed before. So... I feel like shame's quite a big emotion that you focus on with people. What would you say is like the biggest thing that you see people feel shame about?
So I've actually been working with a lot of women. So my thing is emotional mastery in business and in relationships. And the two things that I kind of work with women on is, if we look at shame as an emotion, right? Shame is the emotion that you feel when you've perceived that you've done something wrong, or that you've done something foolish or something. But what normally happens is something happens when we were younger or whatever, or sometimes it's not even our shame that we're carrying. Someone makes a comment and we internalize it, and rather than it being just a passing emotion, we feel it and we make it mean that there's something wrong with us. Not that we've done something wrong, but like there's fundamentally something wrong or bad with us. And then on the business side, what I see is a lot of women not being themselves online. So like feeling like they have to be this polished, watered down, just fucking boring, to be honest, like professional version of them. When really I'll have a conversation with him and it'll be like me and you having a conversation out, like swearing, having a laugh, dancing. I'm like, why am I not seeing that online? And they're like, well, because it's not professional. I'm like, but if you want to be working with clients that are truly, truly aligned, they're not seeing you. So that there's like a saying, isn't there? There's only you. There's only one you, and that's your superpower. And I always say with shame is, if you are ashamed of you, or if you think that there's something fundamentally wrong, you're not honing in on that superpower in business. Like your clients are dying to see who you are. And if you've carried the shame from the past, or might not be long in the past, it might be recently in the past, whatever, that shame is getting in the way of you showing up online, of you setting boundaries, of you setting prices. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be in your fullness because you feel like you have to hide. In relationships, I'd say how shame shows up in relationships a lot is like the expression of your voice and your needs. So women will not say what they really feel or not express their needs. Like an example, say if you really, really value connection and affection and you don't think you're getting enough of that, a lot of women won't say, I just need you to check in with me during the day, or I just need you to hug me a little bit more or kiss me. They won't say that in case they feel too much. That's shame, because you feel too much. You feel that there's something wrong with you saying, this is what I need, right? And another thing is sex. Wow. The amount of women I've had conversations with who are in relationships and they're like, yeah, I just fake it because I don't want to make him feel bad. I'm like, no, we're fixing that. Not fixing it. Fixing the wrong word. I hate using that word, but let's move through that, because you love this man, you're with this man, hopefully you'll be with him for the rest of your life. There's no way I'm allowing you to fake orgasms for the next 70 years of your life. So shame comes up in that way, because again, with me, sex was a very wrong, bad, not talk. Even with my mum, she didn't talk about sex with me. Not really. I think she got me a book once, and when I went to high school, she was like, if anyone says a word that you don't know, write it on a piece of paper and put it under my pillow. And when I look back, I'm like, why didn't you just have a conversation with me? Why didn't you just have a conversation with me, you face? You're like, but that's what it was like. And I think it was more because she didn't want to talk about it in front of my dad with me, so she was scared. Do you know what I mean? It was like this.
She had her own shame, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So
I feel like that's really common for women though, sex, isn't it? Because it's not even just faking orgasms or anything. It's also for me, like, it's always how I look. Like, I hate the thought, like, don't look at me from that angle. Right. Do you know what I mean? Or like oh shit, my rolls are out now. Like, I'm very, like, physically self-conscious.
And that's one of them. So that's shame that's been on. That's not even your shame to carry. That's the way I explain that to my clients is, that is like society's shame, or maybe if you've ever had comments from people, that's like someone else's narrative forced on you. Because this is the... I always say that we close a story at the Grow and Go Co, and it's that you do not have... Like, your sexiness doesn't lie in your looks or the way, like, your teeth or your skin or the number on the scales. Your sexiness lies in how you show up emotionally and energetically. That is, like... I'm big on the appearance.
But when you say that, though, I'm like, that's so fucking true. But I know for a fact it's something that I need to work on, because I'll probably do it again and be like, no, I've got a double chin. But it's so common. But again, like, especially for women, because there is that there is that pressure on us. I was thinking about it on the way here, you know, hearing everyone talking about Glastonbury.
Yeah.
And there was obviously Lewis Capaldi performed, and so did Lola Young.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm obsessed with her.
Difference in the comments
Really?
on social media. Lewis Capaldi, love him, he's done so well.
All about her appearance.
We're so happy to have you back, Lola. She looks fat in that. Who does she think she is? And she's a bad role model for women. She's overweight. And I'm like, I think she's a great role model. She shows up exactly who she is and owns her power. And like, to me, like you say, I'm like, that's sexy. I'm like, I want to be more like her.
You know what? Did you see the Capitol? What do they call it? Summertime ball.
Yeah.
Did you see a thing?
Oh yeah, bless her.
But the way she handled that, I was just like, oh, that's sexy as fuck. Yeah, that like give me goosebumps. When
and it's like some people as well, like you feel their energy without them even talking, don't you? Because it's the way they hold themselves and the way they carry themselves. But I think especially for women, it is a lot harder than us. And I try to explain it to Ryan all the time because I'm like, oh, like I don't really like my teeth, and like, oh, I'm getting wrinkly, and like he's like, don't you go putting all that shit in your face and changing this about you, all this and that. And I'm like, you don't understand it because you don't have, as a male.
I would do mirror work.
That pressure
on you. Because I used to
do
like that, and now I just don't even. I'm literally like, I used to look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I look so old. And I was the same with my teeth. I mean, I did get my teeth done this year, but it was from a place of like, I'm fucking treating myself. I was going to get them done 7 years ago, and I always say I'm so glad I didn't, because that would be... I need to get these... Yeah. What else did I use? Like, but now, because of the mirror work that I do, like that dancing that I do, yes, it's for vibes and just to get me in the vibe of the day. But also, like, I'll look at myself in the mirror, especially because I used to have the anxiety attacks in the mirror. I'll intentionally look at myself in the mirror and I'll literally just be like, all I see is like, you are so powerful. And then, it like, what you look like is literally the most boringest thing about you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are an amazing person. Like, I don't look at you and go, oh my, like, I don't even notice it. And the people who do, that's on them. That's that's the biggest thing that clicked in my head when I was kind of shifting from that anxious thing.
Oh, I love that outlook on it. That's fab. It's awesome. So what would you say to women who carry shame around their emotional needs or even their sexuality, whatever it is?
Okay. Number one, there is, like, you're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not bad. Because that's the fundamental belief. If you're carrying shame, like, you think that there's something wrong, or there's not. And whether it be, if it's about your looks, it's never anything to actually do with the way you look. It's something deeper. And you get to shift that story. Like, you get to wake up one day and you go, you know what? I'm not attempting to be like... If you zoom out and think about it, in all different countries, there's all different versions of beautiful and like, do you know what I mean? So it's like such a subjective, mad thing. And to go on this journey, like to go on this pressure of reaching this imaginary perfection is so... It's never ending. It's always going to be changing. Yeah, it's exhausting. So like, in terms of shame like that, I'd say go deeper and shift the story. In terms of like expressing your needs, having needs doesn't make you, and this is in the bedroom, it's just like in general emotional needs. Having needs doesn't make you need it makes you human. Like, all humans have needs. Men have needs, and not just sexual needs. Men have needs for connection as well and emotion. And I think when you realise that, you don't have shame around having needs anymore. You just start to own the fact that as soon as you step into your power and you're like, right, I have this need, I'm going to learn how to communicate it clearly and from a place of calm, the shame slowly starts to kind of be released around expressing them.
Mm-hmm. It's don't you find anything like mindset wise, emotions, whatever it is, it's like you said, we love to overcomplicate shit. Like, it's so simple but also so hard at the same time, isn't it? Like, it's so annoying.
I always say though, right, when clients, because it is hard, and when clients are kind of falling into that thing of, oh, this is hard, I'm like, yeah, but the grass is green and the sky is blue. Are we going to concentrate on the fact that it's hard? We know it's hard, but you're literally like rewiring pathways in your brain.
That have been there for years.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but why would we focus on what we know? We need to focus on what's gonna move us forward. Because it's difficult, but that just goes to show that you're here doing it. If it was easy, every fucker would be doing it. Our mums and dads wouldn't be as they are if it was easy. Do you know what I mean? And the whole world would be entrepreneurs. The whole world would be emotional masters, but they're not. I wish that, like, it's my mission to make that happen. But
is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that is the mission at the Grown Go Co. Like, as far as we can, like the ripple effect of, because you've got to think, if I teach one person, we've had clients come around and say, oh my God, like I've really helped my mum understand this.
It's such a ripple effect, isn't it?
The ripple effect is huge. Like, you don't know how much you're changing the world by learning this stuff. And that's the mission, to just reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, you should pass it on to your partner,
your kids,
your children,
literally
your
generate your, like, breaking. I always think of it as my mum and dad are like they were because of their mum and dad, you know? So this has been passed down, and then I've come along and just gone, dude, nope, no more. So then my kids are good, yeah. And that's what I mean, like, that's the aim with what we're doing here.
Love that. What's your, like, favourite thing that's happened since you've been teaching other people? Like, is there a moment where whether it's like your first client result or something just epic where you thought just like,
okay, I've kind of got two. Okay. So I'd say the one that's like not for me and for a client is whenever they give me wins and results that two big ones is when I get clients who have challenges with anger, because I think it's personal to me, so it hits me hard. So like, I've had women who have like 2 kids and a husband who used to snap at their kids and fucking snap at the husband, and they just didn't like who they were, and they'd blow up, and they've come around to me and said, oh my God, it's been months since that's happened. Like, that's one of them moments where I'm like, oh. And then that same client who I'm thinking about, just the other day, she announced on our membership call that she is having a 3rd baby, and she said, you know what, I owe so much to you in this membership, and she's worked one-on-one with me for a little bit before as well. She was like, this is the first pregnancy I've ever had where I feel this good. I don't feel fear. My other 2 pregnancies, I was like, they were awful because I was just full of fear. This is going to be the best pregnancy emotionally, mentally, and I was just like, ripple effect. And then in terms of me...
Yeah, that baby's going to come out like, peace and love.
And then for me, it's travelling the world. Like, that was, with my business.
Epic.
That was, like, hands down.
Where did you travel to?
So we left Australia in March 24, which is nuts to think about. We flew to Japan, then flew from Japan to South America and did, like, just all of South America. And then we went from South America to Europe. We did Eastern Europe and like Spain and all of that. And then up to Norway. And then we went back to the UK. So not like travelled the world, but...
No, but that's... yeah. There's going to be so many people sat at home though, like...
Yeah, honestly, it was one of them things where... I remember being in Colombia and I'd visualised it. I'm big on visualisation. And I visualised being in this like... rooftop pool, and it was quite jungly, and I had like a green juice, and I was replying to clients, and it's like it was already real before it happened,
like deja vu.
Yeah, and I'd forgot about it, kind of thing, because once I started traveling, I wasn't visualizing anymore about traveling, and I was sat there, and I was just like, the green juice was there, and I looked around, and I was just like, oh my fucking, I started crying. I was just like,
like, it's
oh my
actually
God,
real.
I've done it.
Yeah,
that was pretty insane.
Amazing.
And I wouldn't have been able to get to that point with, like, yes, I would have had the business, but I believe that without emotional mastery, I wouldn't have been able to create what I've created. So, yeah.
Wow, you've achieved amazing things. You do wonderful work in the world. And you're just a wonderful person as well.
Thank you.
Honestly, you really are. This has been such a good conversation.
Yeah,
I've absolutely
it has.
loved
I've enjoyed it.
So where can people listening find you?
You can find me at Hot Girls Regulate.
Have I just got like an exclusive?
You have. The Grown Glow Co is no more as of September.
So when
Complete
I was just
rebrand.
saying about my December moment where I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to burn it all down, you're just like recreating yours now.
So it's still going to be as it is. We're just going through a bit of I've just kind of felt like this. I don't even know, like, people...
I'm not going to lie though, that is more you.
Than the
Hot
Grown-
Girls
I
Regulate
feel
than
like
the
I've
Grown Glow
outgrown
Co.
it.
To
Yeah.
me, that's like...
Oh, Grown Glow Co was like, woo. I don't know, like...
Yeah, and like, you're not basic bitch.
Yeah.
You're that bitch.
It's in it.
And you need that bitch name.
Yeah, so the handle will be Hot Girls Regulate, so find me there.
Amazing.
That's the
Well,
first time I've said it, like, find me there.
I love that. So thank you so much for being so honest and open as well. Like, I know it's not easy, and like you've just kind of like said a load of stuff that I know is probably still uncomfortable in some ways to talk about, but I think it's really, really important that we do that because it inspires other people to open up. So thank you for doing that.
You are so welcome.
And I can't believe you're gonna be buggering off to Sydney.
I know. I keep saying this, like, I've made so many connections.
And now you're buggering off.
Yeah, and then I literally, like, the last 2 weeks I've been around, like, a lot of, like, business with it. And then I was sat in the park the other day and I was just like... I'm glad to be leaving, but I was like, oh my God, I've finally found my people and now I'm leaving them.
Oh, it's
I know.
sadness, but you never know. Maybe I'll end up in Sydney.
Yeah,
Maybe
come visit.
Tory Chats It will go on tour.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
I love that. Well, cheers to that.
Cheers,
And
thank you.
again.
Thank you.
Tory Chats It is your permission slip to be honest about the chaos, the clarity, and everything in between. This is the space where we talk about the shit no one else will, the moments that break us, build us, and change everything.